This is episode 218 of the Gold Squadron podcast. I'm your host, Dion Morales, and today I'm joined by Marcel. Tri-fighters are okay. Marcel, with 1 hour of sleep, not okay. Manzano.
Yeah. So I'll say about it, like a little bit about it. And I played three rounds because I had other things to do afterwards. Went 1 and 2, dropped the Tri-fighters. I flew 3 Tri-fighters and 2 bombers. A lot of fun. Very close match. I lost 79-80 and 144-130. So like super close matches. They were fun, good matches. But one of them I set the wrong dial and threw myself on a bomb. And one of the games I lost, and in the other game I lost, I dropped 4 thermal detonators and managed to hit myself with all 4. And
Don't do
died.
that. What are you doing? Stop it.
Yeah. Fun lists, but mistakes were made.
All right. Will Dummy Thick Bases Hagewood.
Oh, yeah. You know I like them bases.
And Ryan, the pendulum is swinging. Staniszewski.
Yes, we are trending down in our ship count, everyone. The thought swarm meta may be, quote, over for now. We never really happened before, I swear.
It's going down. Right? All right. So today, what are we going to be talking about? Well, we had a lot of stuff going on. Let's do announcements first. So if you were not with us this weekend for the Dagobah Galactic Championship stream, you didn't hear about the fact that we did a fundraiser for this weekend. Okay, we did a fundraiser for the Vandercook College of Music One City Strings Project. What is this? Well, it is Vandercook College of Music is the college where I graduated for my bachelor's and currently for my master's. And as a class gift, we were fundraising for this new program, which gives students in the area of the school, which is on the south side of Chicago, the opportunity to get free music lessons and an instrument. And specifically, we were raising money for the new string program, so violins, violas, cellos, and basses. And when the kid finishes the program, when they exit 8th grade, they get to keep the instrument. Now, I'll go ahead and show for anybody who didn't see. That was our total at the end of the day: $10,430.17. So that is including the $2,000 that GSP promised in match donations that got us started. But absolutely amazing in what we did. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to every single person who donated. And I figured I'd take the time now and let you guys know the reaction that I got. Now, I took a quick look before I got to school at like the school rules, and I was not able to get a video recording of like a reaction or anything like that because of the school rules. But I'll tell you what we did do. We got the graduate dean to swear, which is amazing. Okay, like in his office, he's a very professional guy, and got him to drop an F-bomb plus some extra words, which was fantastic. The string director in tears, all right, full tears, and a bunch of people going, "What?" in their facial expression. So yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Thank you to everybody who was a part of that. And here's the thing is, because most of the student population doesn't actually know that we've done this yet. It's like starting to kind of disperse around the school, and people are going like, "Are you Dion?" I'm like, yes. that's me. And just this, and I get to talk about you guys and be like, our community is amazing. And they were just dumbfounded, absolutely dumbfounded that that us as a community were able to do that. So thank you again for doing that. And for those of you listening to the podcast, there's going to be a link in the description of this podcast where you can give directly to Vandercook for the One City project. So I look forward to seeing that. And at graduation, we'll present the overall gift and stuff like that, and I think it's gonna be pretty good. I think it's gonna be pretty good. I got in the mail our like, it's not like a giant check, but it's like a mini check. It's like a dry erase roll up board. It's right now it's like underneath boxes to try to flatten out, and hopefully we can get a cool picture for you guys. But that's not even the only announcement. We got more stuff. Okay, so this upcoming weekend that's July 23rd, 24th, and 25th is the Lone Star Open, and William Haywood is gonna be hopping on a plane and streaming for you guys. I won't be there because I'll be busy presenting my project and graduating. So Will, you got any tidbits for us? You got any just like words of like hype or something? I don't know.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're gonna be hyped up. The list of names participating in this event is gonna be some real old school X-Wing players. Players we haven't seen since 2019. So it's gonna be great to get some footage of those guys coming back in. Everybody getting back on the tables should be a great time. Ryan, you're going to be there. You're one of those old school players.
Yep, just right in with the rest of them that have only played a single digit or zero numbers of TTS events right now.
Right.
Do we want to spoil a few of the names?
Well, we'll see. We'll see who we can get on there.
I've got a question for you guys about this topic and just kind of your opinion.
Sure.
Okay.
People who have just the finalists, in your opinion, is it going to be somebody who has played and been around in the online era, or somebody who went cold turkey and just said, nope, we hate TTS. We're not playing it. We hate the format. It's not real X-Wing.
Can I tell you what I hope happens?
I know what you hope happens.
I hope they scrub hard, and you can let them know. All right, I hope they scrub hard. Though, I say that in a joking manner. Yeah. We do know that they've been practicing the last few weeks. So like,
yeah,
cold
they've had
turkey
store championships and other stuff. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Like, it's not actually cold turkey. They have been practicing, preparing for the event, so they're not going in completely cold. And they still, like, what they still have is the intelligence between their ears, right? Like, they still got a good mind for X-Wing. The question is, and here's this needs some evidence. I need to maybe do a study. Will they understand the meta? And has the base level of player in skill risen during a time? Because what TTS has done as it's spread throughout the X-Wing community is that it's given more people opportunities to play and practice and be in a competitive environment more often. So I think at the very least we're going to see some names we've never seen before, like in person X-Wing, do really well, make the cut at least. And you know what? I'm going to put my name on a random person who has been practicing through TTS and been participating in online events. I don't know who that person is, but my money's on them.
I was going to say, when I look through the list of players going to LSO, it's actually a higher percentage of the people who haven't been playing on TTS. So just going by the percentage and odds, I'll have to say the group of the OGs then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that makes sense, and I guess you know what, that's something I didn't think about, because there might just be some people being like, hey, I don't need to go to LSO. It doesn't mean as much to them because we have been providing Premier level X-wing digitally. So
and it's
that
not an
makes
official
sense.
event.
Yeah, it's not official.
This is more for the people that have been aching and itching for a tournament.
Oh, it's not an
And they
official
have-
event. Can I tell some people there that it's not real X-wing then?
Oh,
Can I say?
yeah.
I mean,
Can I say
Well,
that?
you could say that after.
Can I say that?
I was gonna say let's put it this way. It's actually as the numbers go, it's kind of small. So like everyone knows most people that are going there know that it's going to be a moderately relaxed competitive event. It's just a structure for them to play in because of the turnout is as much as I think they'd hoped for, but still going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I like the spicy Dion. We've been getting spicy Ali lately, but today we got spicy Dion. I like it.
It's a stress. It's a stress. You get a little more spice when Dion is stressed out. All right. All righty. Oh, come on. I put a little spice to get called out. All right. Anyway.
It's spice. It's not shade. There's a difference.
That's right. All right. Well, that's happening this weekend, and also I believe we are about to complete the last week of the first. What is the wording they're using? I'm sorry, not first round, first stage. Is that
The group stage.
The group stage of the XTC
ended last week, so we get to analyze the players who were able to move on to the cut stage from out of the group. 10 teams got to progress on out of the weekly tournament style.
All right. Well, that's gonna be our first topic of today. But before we do that, I want to let you guys know that this episode is brought to you by our patrons. Becoming a patron makes you part of one of the largest group of supporters we have here at GSP. Patrons have access to patron-only channels on Discord, and depending on what level you are, we send you quarterly gifts. The next wave of gifts features Shadow Squadron, Imperial ships that are named that you get to choose who they are. So far, we got in the TIE Fighter, we got Wampa. And in the Reaper, we got Feroff. So we'll find out who the Defender and the other ships are in the next coming weeks. All right, let's jump into it. The XTC. Top 10. Right? We got the top 10 teams. Moving on, we're going to have a round-robin tournament. Will and Marcel, the last little bit since you guys have been playing, Ryan and I have kind of dominated the conversation because we kind of doing our guesses, and you guys are, holding back your thoughts here. Go ahead, give us the top 10. Give us the top 10. You guys can kind of flip off. Ryan, throw some things in there.
Yeah, and we've got it in the chat if you want to bring it up so that the viewers can also.
Do you guys want to start with what our predictions were and how things turned out? We start there.
Yeah, that sounds like a good.
Yeah, let's do our predictions first. Just to see how wrong we were.
All right, that's where we started. And actually, you know what? I'll bring this version of it. Might be a little clearer. Here, hold on. We'll do a little live editing there. There we go. That's better. All right. Cool. So looking at Group A, none of us believed in Team Norway, Greece, Malaysia, or Czech Republic. It looks like we were right.
Albeit Norway ended pretty strong, though. They made their push.
All right, they got close.
Yeah, and they did beat their 2 wins were against Italy and Poland. So they were, not their 2 wins, but 2 of their wins were against the top dogs. So.
All right. Now, let's take a look here. All of us believe we gave each other 2 votes each, and then we had one kind of like wild card. That's the ones in blue for those of you watching. We all believed in Team Poland, and I don't see a Team Poland on this list. What happened? Give us the deets there.
What happened is they got spanked. That's what happened. They got caught sleeping. Actually, I wouldn't say they got caught sleeping. So they got beat, I said, by Norway. Norway was one of the ones that snuck a win on them. And then Singapore also snuck a win on Poland. But considering that Singapore went 6-1, maybe it's not so much of a sneak, as in we were probably we outside of Dion were probably sleeping on Singapore because their logo is a tiger, and I've been calling them kittens all along. Well, those kittens got some long nails because it's not a tiger, it's a lion. I'm sorry. They're like their flag has a lion, or their national something is a lion. They always have a lion on there. So I've been calling them kittens, but yeah, those kittens got some something on them. Some super serum.
Yeah, there we go. And then as we continue here, will Team Brazil let you down?
Yeah, I was putting a lot of my money on our American teams, but unfortunately in this group, we didn't see any of the Americans progress on through.
Then when we get to Italy, Ryan and Marcel both believed in Italy, and looks like you were right for that, Ryan.
Yeah, I said I had faith in Marco and his squad, and they showed up. They got their 5. They had the top 5-2 individual wins and win percentage. So even though they got their 2 losses, they probably made those games and matchups as tight and as difficult as possible for their opponents, and trounced most of their people that they defeated.
Good. Defeat, destruction. All right, and then we get to Team Singapore, where, all right, people have been calling me out for a statement I said when we did this, but notice I put my money where my mouth was. I bet on Singapore and was rewarded the 2 seed out of everybody. Singapore getting into the final round here out of Group A. So again, just to kind of recap, Singapore and Italy make it to the final round out of Group A. When we move to Group B, we all put our chips on Team Germany, and they were able to make it at 5-2 with a total of 28 individual wins, but with a win percentage of 57%.
Yeah. They barely snuck it in. I mean, those wins were tight. I don't think they got a better than a 4-3 win. So they fought hard for every win. They made it, but yeah, they made it.
I think I watched some of Ali's reviews of these, and he sees as Germany underperforming and not barely scrapping by in this. He expected a lot more from them. I think a lot of people would agree with that too, that have seen XTC before.
All right. And the next team we need to take a look at here from our votes. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. We can brag here in a minute. Ryan and Marcel, what happened to Team Iceland?
Well, I don't know. Marcel, where did they end up?
I don't know exactly where they ended up. It's somewhere towards the bottom. Not in the middle. They were more towards like the bottom, maybe 2 or 3 wins. Now,
3 and 4 as a number.
3 and 4, yeah. So Filippo did he made a good point about Team Team Iceland because they've got some good players and they've got a very strong squad there. Like their local group is like they tend to perform well individually. He said that Iceland was one of the last teams to put together a team and sign up. That they actually put together their team and signed up with in a 12-hour period. And he was talking about like the preparation that goes into it and to putting the list together and to like getting some kind of cohesion. Like we started our recruitment process like back in January. And so did some of the other teams that actually I think almost every team on this outside of Switzerland was recruiting like really early, and the prep work I think shows like some of the results. I think some of the results are related to like the amount of prep work that went into it, and I think that's probably what happened to Iceland. I agree with Filippo on that one. I think it was just a matter of great players that put a team together on the fly, didn't really have time to think about like the list structure and the pairing structure and how everything works, and came out underperforming. And I would call that underperforming. I think they're better than 3 and 4.
All right, and then we move to Peru. Will and Dion, that's me. We said Team Peru is gonna come out on top, and what happened, Will?
Oh yeah, they came out literally on top. 35 wins, 6-1.
6-1, man. That's a great record. An 86% win percentage, super solid there. Coming out on top.
Yeah, and just for those on the that are watching on stream, the first one it's kind of hard to see because it's cut off a little bit. The first one is the team wins, and it says the win percentage on the team wins. A few of those are based off of 6 games, not of 7 games. Even though there's a next one, you see like 6-1, and then we're 5-1. That's why they won one more game than us, but they played one more game. And then the individual win matches is basically what percentage of your total matches did you win. So again, they came in very strong, winning basically 7 out of 10 matches they won, as compared to someone like Germany who kind of bounced over and at almost a 50-50. So yeah, very strong showing for Peru. I think Peru, Dion, you probably know a lot of those players. I know we had seen some of those players before, especially you when you went down to Lima to the Lima Open. But I think the rest of the world got woken up to Peru, and Europe especially. Like Europe, there's very little interaction from them just because there's no travel back and forth between the two, and before the presence of online play, they really weren't playing each other. But yeah, I think now they know. I think now they know, and we'll see them in the final. See if they can keep this momentum for the finals.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good team, and I think you're right in that the interaction between the two is just it doesn't happen. So the teams that didn't make it out of Group B, Team Scotland, Ukraine, South Africa, and a combined team. It was Lithuania and remind me of the other one.
Latvia.
Thank you. All right, then we get to Group C. And we had 2 teams that had 3 votes from GSP in our predictions. So we'll start by talking about Team Canada. Ryan, Will, and Marcel all voted on Team Canada. And while they didn't get into the top, they did do something very important. Didn't they, Marcel?
Oh, yeah. They are the ones that guaranteed Ali is going to be joining us at some point. We've got to work out the logistics on that and whether it's a pre-show or actual show. So we'll figure all that out. But he's going to be hurting his backside by drinking some nice red hot sauce. And we'll figure out at some point like what the right timing and format for that'll be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they were the first to beat England, but they were the first, but not the only ones to beat England.
Hey.
So yeah, England. A lot of talk, a lot of talk, Ollie, but they didn't quite live up to the talk.
Who was the second team England lost to?
Ireland. So Ireland ended up 6-1, and Ireland also beat Canada. So Ireland beat
Okay.
Canada and England, and none of us had any faith in Ireland, and there they are at 6-1.
All right, and yeah, that was the other team. Now we did, you had Ryan, myself, and Marcel voting on Team England. They were able to squeak in, and with that 5-2 record, be able to be that second team. Will, with his Go Team America strategy, did go to Colombia, and Team Colombia did not make it out of that first round.
Yeah, Team Colombia was one of the O and teams, but their community is probably the youngest in this entire thing. As far as like they barely just started getting product not long before the pandemic. They don't have all of the product, and they, a lot of their players were being trained on how to use TTS like literally the week of the tournament. So. Actually, I think their first week was against England, and if I'm not mistaken, the person who played Ali in that first week beat Ali, and it was either his his first or second game on TTS ever. So, yeah, it was. They also got a great stream, but it's Spanish only. So if you don't speak Spanish, you're probably a loss. But if you do speak Spanish, check them out.
All right. Then we get to Group D. This was the home of the USA, and all four of us, with much confidence, with feeling, said the United States was going to not only get out into the finals, but be on top of our group. And that's exactly what happened. Now, the United States win percentage 83%. But if you take a look at that individual win percentage, Marcel, give us a little bit of an explanation on some of those numbers.
Yeah, so that's just we won 31 matches in 6 rounds. So that means we won 31 out of 42 games. So that's 74%. So that's just slightly above the next best, which was Italy, that won 36 out of 49 because they played one more round, so that's 7 more games. So we had the best individual win ratio. We would have probably surpassed that 75% if there wasn't a scrub named Marcel on the squad that went 3-3. I was the worst performing one, but I will say I think I threw myself under the bus more often than not. But regardless, we still ended up with the top one. I think myself, and I think I also threw Daniel under the bus a few times. So Daniel took it like a champ, though. He won. I think he won one of the ones that I threw him under.
I think so too, if I'm remembering correctly. Now the second team out of Group D, we had it looks like Ryan and Will got it right with their wild card choice in Sweden. What was their record there, Ryan?
No. Spain.
I'm sorry. Wrong.
You and me got it right, Dion.
We got it right.
The original Guns of Spain.
That's right. We did. We picked Spain because they were the leaders in XTC in the last iteration of it.
Yep. And then so there was a lot of potential talk and moving between some of the wild cards here. That's where Sweden comes in. With both myself and Will throwing the wild card on Sweden. I think that me during that time, that was covering myself of in case US didn't make it, that was to be the next team I would pick. But courage of the conviction stood tall with the USA as we all picked. But wasn't Sweden pretty close?
No. No.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, USA was us and Spain were both 5-1.
Yeah.
Hungary actually did 4-2, and they were probably unexpected to do well because everybody was looking at Sweden and Australia to be like the other competitors. Sweden, I believe, went 2-4 or 3-3. I think 2-4. They went 2-4. Chile went 2-4,
And so did Malta.
and Malta
Oh,
went 2-4.
Sweden really tanked towards the end, it seemed, because they had only lost to the U.S. for the beginning half, right? They were like 2-1 or 3-1 in the beginning.
No, I think they went 0-1, then 1-1, then 1-2, then 2-2, then 2-3, 2-4, I believe. But yeah, they I would say they underperformed, but
Well,
nobody underperformed more than our dear friends down under Australia.
Maybe Nabi can tell us in the chat why.
Nabi, what
Australia-
happened?
I'll straight say Australia failed, not just underperformed.
Oof. Oh.
Yeah,
The hot takes.
1-5. Yeah, that 1-5 dead last when they were expected to give us competition for, either knocking us or Spain out of contention. Yeah, Nabi, what happened with that 1-5, man?
Wait, I'd like to know, if we go back to Group B, who did better, Australia or New Zealand? If you were to compare
New
the
Zealand.
two?
New Zealand did 4-3. 4-3, yeah.
So you let your little island off to the side of you beat you.
I know.
Died
And you can't-
Australia, got him.
And I'll say one more thing: you can't blame the oceanic time zone either, because a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, they're on the oceanic time," and that's difficult for them. You know who else is on oceanic time? Singapore.
Singapore.
Right?
Woo, woo.
You don't see Singapore. They're X1. They're not 1X. Or yeah.
Uh-huh.
Navi, but in all in all, I think that we've had it was a really tough group, and a lot of you guys remember like the very first week against Sweden, we took it 6-1, but it could have very easily been like a 5-2 the other way.
Oh yeah.
Just take these results a little bit with a grain of salt in that it could, just a few dice rolls here or a few things there can completely swing it for one team. So just keep that in mind. So they did tank badly, but I think they played better than what the record shows.
All right. And some of the other teams there, obviously we already mentioned them. Let's head over to Group E. Group E, out of Group E, Will, who made it into the top 10?
That is going to be France, as well as Switzerland sneaks in that 4-2 record. We all went for the Netherlands, the Dutch, and the Dutch are nowhere to be seen. They ended up at 3-3, respectable, and what turned out to be just a brutal group, Group E. Very few teams other than France making it out of there. Actually, I don't think anybody made it out of there with the good wins. The highest win out of that whole group was 25 for individual wins. That means that each game, each week, close matches between both teams. So, but Netherlands fell by the wayside. Unfortunately, so did Mexico. My America pick were not able to come through. And Switzerland, like I said, nobody picked the true underdogs here in Group E.
Yeah, I remember when I picked this one, I was trying to figure out, I didn't know anything, and someone had mentioned like Serbia did well at some point. I was like, all right, we'll go with Serbia. So it could have easily, someone could have said Switzerland did well, and I would have picked them too. So, but yeah, congrats to Switzerland. Yeah, was Netherlands a team in previous years that had done really well? Is that why a lot of us picked them?
I think because they've got some players that have done well. They've done okay in the past. Like they did. I think they were middle of the pack with us in 2019, like 6-4. Fawn. I think because Fawn was the captain, and we're like, we trust that Fawn will kind of square these guys away and find the right medalists and do that. I think that's probably where most people were leaning, but they were one of the 2 seeded teams. They were seeded number 1 and France was seeded number 2. So they came in. Actually, no, they didn't end up. Yeah, they ended up 6-4 like us, but they had a better individual wins. So I think they were like in 4th or 5th place overall, while we were in 6th in 2019.
Okay, yeah. So a lot of the history sided with our picks on Netherlands, and yeah, I had that feeling like I had with Italy, with Marcos and Italy. Like, well, Fawn Longlon will get it in shape. Doesn't work all the time, apparently.
So after that, how many? Like, if we give 1 point for every prediction you got right, I think I got 7. Any of you guys do better than 7? Let's count them up real quick.
I definitely did not.
I only got 5.
Marcel, 5. All right. Well,
I think Dion might have won the prediction war.
there you go. Bam. Got him.
All right, now predict the top 3.
Whoa. All right.
in the finals.
Well, you just give out a winner, Guillaume.
Not a winner, top 3.
So how is it structured from here? It's round robin. Then
Round
does
robin.
anything else happen, or is it just round? All right,
Round
so,
robin,
so-
and then the same breakout as this. First win, it's the tiebreakers are team wins, and if you have the same team wins, then you go to individual wins. If you have the same individual wins, then the tiebreaker is the head-to-head.
All right, and then are these same lists, or is everything reset brand new?
You get to reset your lists, so the same players, different lists, or same lists if you like your list, but the option of different lists.
All right, so this is purely going off of their performances from before and what we think will happen. So we're picking the podium, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, right?
Your podium.
Oh, can we just pick 3 that will
Just
be
3.
in
You
the
don't have to.
podium?
You don't have
I
to
don't wanna
say
put
it.
them
Pick them in order.
order.
Don't put them in order. Just say these are the.
I don't want to put them in order.
I'm gonna force decisions.
You can give yours, but I'm not gonna do in order.
All right, let's see. Let's document it so that we have it here. All right, who do you think, Marcel?
Okay, well, this is what I said earlier, so I'm just gonna stick to it. I said USA. What did I? Oh yeah, I said USA, Italy, and Germany. I think Germany will bounce back from that really bad, only 28 individual wins, and they'll wake up next month. So that's what I said: USA, Italy, and Germany.
Okay, so I'm going to write that out right now. So Marcel said USA, Germany, and Italy. What are you thinking, Ryan?
Man, I'm feeling like a strong representation from almost each region of the world here. Like, I'm thinking Singapore. I'm thinking Italy. And then I feel, wow, that's tough to, I mean, USA or Peru is what I'm thinking, either of those. Man, I'd hate to pick against my own kind here.
Pick your brain. Don't pick your heart. That sounds weird. Pick your brain, but yeah, pick your brain.
Hold on, let me double check the numbers here. Actually, yeah, so definitely Italy, definitely Singapore. Actually, I don't know about definitely Singapore. I'm looking at those individual win percentages, and the individual win totals is a strong indicator. Peru, Italy, USA. I'll take Singapore out, actually.
Oh, the disrespect.
It's not
I mean,
disrespect. They were in there. I'm like, it's like one of those four had to
Yeah.
be taken out.
All right, Will.
All right. I'm going to go extremely biased and choose no European countries.
Oh,
I'm taking
look, got him.
I'm taking USA, Peru, and Singapore.
It is
know
truly no longer the ETC. It is the XTC.
They've been trying to hold back the rest of the world so they could brag about their wins. But oh no, the colonies are coming in.
You know, Will, that is exactly where I was going. So
I mean, Peru and Singapore were at the top of the
right. I mean, it's
at the top of the board. So I mean, it's not like I'm making bold predictions here.
right.
No one's picking Ireland though, who was the only other 6-1.
They weren't the only other 6-1, I think. Oh yeah, it
Besides
was.
Peru
It
and
was.
Singapore, yeah, who've
Yeah,
already
Peru,
been picked by us. Multiple
Yeah,
times.
I've got a feeling Ireland's just not. You know, I think
That individual
do they
win
think they had
percentage
an easy group?
that individual win percentage is kind of low.
Yeah, and I think they caught a couple teams. I think they caught Canada and England sleeping. I think if they play those rounds again, I think Canada and England beat them. I'm sorry to Ireland, but I actually think I mean if we're doing a bottom three,
Oh,
probably
you want
put them
to
in
go
the
with
Wait, hold on.
all right, let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm not fully against it, but on an understanding basis, like you put Germany in your top three, and they had one of the worst scraping by
I
of
did.
all of them. So you're expecting them to bounce back and do what they've done in the past?
Yeah, they literally had not great lists, and I think they'll correct that. I think also Spain. I think we're sleeping on Spain. Actually, you know what?
No, Spain was going to be in my bottom three, actually.
Okay, I think we're
Oh!
sleeping on Spain. I
Oh!
think
The hot takes.
I think Williams just
do
revenge.
we do a top three, bottom three, just to
By the way,
just to give some bulletin board material to some
Yeah,
teams?
yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, this
Give
is
some bulletin.
board
Let's
material.
let's get some
This is- you know, this is like-
motivation.
Top
they're
three,
gonna-
bottom three. Tell the
Yeah.
bottom three to show up.
Yeah, they're gonna put you know, Marcel and William here and saying like, oh yeah, Marcel, you said
Oh, yeah?
we're gonna be bottom three. Let me show you. So we're gonna get stomped by these three.
All right. Oh man. All right. Let's make some people sad. Let me get this set up here. And you
All
know
right,
what?
I'm ready for mine. I got
Oh,
mine.
Will's ready to go. All right. Let me
Yeah.
finish clearing these out real quick. All
I'll
right.
give you a second. I'll give you a second here.
All right. Hit me. Bottom three.
Spain,
Oh, right away. Spain. All right.
England.
Oh,
That's
the
right.
shade. The
No,
shade.
they had an easy group. Let's see if you can play with the big boys. And then I'm actually going to go Germany. Germany, I had such high hopes for them. I actually had rated them to win the whole thing. But the inconsistency, man, I don't like it. I think they're going to continue that inconsistency.
All righty.
All right, I'll go.
Go for it.
I'll
Go
give
for it.
bulletin board material to people. So I'm gonna say all of Group E.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
France and Switzerland. So France and Switzerland, and I already committed to Ireland, and it's France, not France.
Oh, sorry.
So France and Switzerland, and then Ireland will join that group there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Marcel on that one. I think France and Switzerland are in there at bottom three. Man, do I go by the numbers and say Germany is going to join them, or do I go with like just more spiciness and just throw England in there too? That seems more fun. Let's put England in there. That's more fun.
All
'Cause
right.
if we call it we're right, it's going to feel so good.
All right. All right, I'm gonna take. I'm gonna go a little bit of a different route. Little bit of a different route. I'm gonna go Switzerland. I think that's. Note, they've all made the top 10, so great job. Okay, okay. But I'm gonna try to use the numbers and try to go a little bit of luck here. So Switzerland, I think we have, just because they were the bottom performer this time, we have to go. I think that Ireland will underperform. And then we got to go to the middle. I think Italy drops it as well. There we go. Team Italy.
That's a hot take.
That's a hot take. Yeah,
Italy
I think
with the strongest individual win percentage out of 7 total games or 6 total games or whatever it is.
Yeah, they smacked a few people around, but again, they lost 2 matches also. So
yeah, I mean it's possible because it matters. The team wins, right? The team wins is what it does, and yeah, the 2 losses there shows that they can lose. They are mortal.
you know what's funny? Williams' picks for the bottom 3 are literally first, second, and fourth place at the last event. Or for either first, second, and third, or first, second, and fourth.
There was no more room for them to go up. They got to go down.
Yeah, that's right. They've reached the height. They got to be falling now.
All right.
I will say that it is going to be, I think, Marcel, you just touched on it. It is going to be based on those individual wins. We see that there was no undefeated team in any of the groups. And I have to feel that there is going to be no 9-0 team. There might not even be an 8-1 team, to be honest with you.
I'm thinking that there's going to be a 6-3 bunch. Honestly, that's how I feel. I think there's going to be a 6-3 bunch. No 8-1s, no 7-2s. I think it's going to be a 6-3, maybe 4 or 5 teams at 6-3, and it's going to be those individual tiebreakers that declare first, second, and third. There might be a 7-2. There might be, but I think more than likely because of how close everyone is. Because we're talking about like, oh, these are the bottom 3, these are the top 3. The bottom 3 can very easily be the top 3, and the top 3 can very easily be the bottom 3 because these are really close matchups. I mean, in all honesty.
Yeah. It is a different format as well. We had
all
the
round
nice
robin, yeah.
well, I'm saying like we had an easy time of being able to decide your matchups weeks ahead, get practice games in with your matchup as well, being able to figure that out. And now we're switching to a 2-day structure. 5 games on Saturday, 4 games on Sunday. I think it's what I'm saying. A lot of those inconsistencies are going to show up. People got to be on the ball every time, and the mistakes are going to be just brutal.
Yeah,
It's stamina's the name of the game.
Yeah, it's just like a regular tournament. You find out your opponent minutes before you play them, not I got 3 or 4 practice rounds because it's a bad match.
Yeah, those Saturday games where people had a whole week to think about the matchup. No, not anymore.
And then, you know what? That would be interesting to track, to go back to see the placement of games. Like, when did people play their games and how well did they do?
Yeah.
Was there any correlation?
I don't know about the correlation, but we after the first week, I asked everyone to basically, if based on ours, not what you and Ryan gave us as like the good or bad, but just based on our own internal idea of what we think is a favorable or bad matchup. The instruction was play the good matches first, like as early as possible, so they don't have an opportunity to practice the bad matchup. The even matchups just play, probably sometime in the middle. And then your bad matchups, that's why I was usually playing on Friday or Saturday because I had a lot of bad matchups. But your bad matchups, play them at the end because it gives you time to like try different ways to sneak out a win against a bad matchup. But that was the idea. And also, if you get your good matchups early, and if you get up early, it's like a football game or a baseball game or anything else. If you get up early, then it adds a certain amount of pressure to the other ones, and the ones that even have a favorable matchup, because there's added pressure on them. Maybe they might perform not as well. So there was at least some of that from our perspective, and I assume other teams probably had similar approach. At least some of them must have had a similar approach. That doesn't exist anymore. Now it's like, you find out who you play, go right to it.
Well, there it is. There's our breakdown for the upcoming XTC. Now, we also had an event this weekend. We had the Dagobah Galactic Championship, and congratulations to Jonathan for winning that. Let me go ahead and pull up our graphic here. We'll pull up the list. We'll take a look at our top 16. We'll do a quick strike on that. But if you follow us on Instagram or on Facebook, you did see this graphic right here. We'll go ahead and pull it up so y'all can see. You guys saw this graphic right here. Jonathan Hall winning with Lando Calrissian in the customized YT 1300. Asajj Ventress, what? And Bosk. Not surprised there, let's be honest. All right, but then the runner-up, Tor Walden, 4 Blue Squadron T-70 X-Wings and Rose Tico. So we had a Scum and Resistance final. Really, really interesting to see. You know, we talked about earlier, you know, the ship count is going down, but at the same time, we got here to the final, and it was five ships versus 3 ships. So it's kind of almost like the convergence of both of these ideas, right? It's like, is less ships versus more ships. Additionally, we took a look at the bracket. If you haven't taken a look at that, these are posted on our website as well. If you head over to goldsquadronpodcast.com, which you can go ahead and do that right now, you head over to Galactic Championship Series and results, you can see all of these graphics right here for you. You also have the breakdown for the factions. Go ahead and give me that, Ryan.
All right, so we got so we'll start from the lowest to the highest. The Resistance was the lowest brought faction at 13, but had representation of 2 in the cut. Obviously, we talked about at least 1 in the final. Then we got the Republic with 15 lists, 2 in the cut. First Order with 16 and 1 in the cut. Separatists with 19 and 2 in the cut. Rebels with 20 and then 4 in the cut. Empire with 21 and only 1 in the cut for Empire. 22 for Scum with 4 in the cut. So mostly even, but slight edge towards the Rebels and the Scum in terms of their success in the cut. Granted, they were one of the more commonly taken factions, so generally that should lead to higher numbers. But the Imperials definitely the faction that underperformed with how much they were brought in only 1 representation.
John, I don't think they can hear you.
Let's try that again. So with the numbers that we did end up having, you know, Resistance, lowest representation, but made it to the final. So are we going to see that number go up when we get to Jeddah in a couple weeks? That's August 7th, by the way, if you want to sign up.
I mean, we've seen it over and over in variations. The heart of the Resistance is the T-70s. However many you want to bring, whatever combination. Marcel's shaking his head no, but he knows it's true. The heart of the Resistance is the T-70 X-Wing.
It's
Hey,
true.
can somebody please do a safety check on Nabi? Just make sure he's okay.
Nobby's flying RZ-1A wings. I don't think he cares anymore.
No, he was flying Jedi. What? Navi, turns your back on everybody. Everybody being every A-wing.
Traitor. All right. Well, let's go ahead. Let's head through this top 16. Will, let's go ahead and start with you. Who was our champion and what was their list?
All right. You had mentioned it before. That's Jonathan Hall. Brought a 3 large base scum squad here. We've seen Bosk before. The Bosk, Zamwessel, Greedo combination, getting free locks, double shots, always having that crit modifier to split into 2 hits. Fantastic. This one brought false transponder codes as well. Same thing, combos with those free locks, be able to get some jams out. This is where it starts getting a little weird. We see Asajj Ventress for the first time, I think, in a top table here since the points decrease on her. We have 000, that's a free calculator stress at range 1. That also has false transponder codes, contraband cybernetics, take advantage of those double illicit slots, and then the Shadowcaster title, allowing her to, if she hits somebody, when she's got the overlapped mobile arc over the front arc, she can hand out a tractor token to them. Now, that stress is really important from 000, combines with Asajj's ability to stress ships as well. If they do not have any green tokens to remove, because we have Lando Calrissian in the customized YT-1300, are going to have that Lando's Millennium Falcon title, gives them a 3rd dice if attacking a stressed target. But this is where it just goes off the rails. Because we have Jabba the Hutt double crew combined with Cutthroat and false transponder codes. So what this interaction allows is that most of the time Lando doesn't need to be target locking. He could just focus and then take a stress to reroll blanks, get some double modification there. But Jabba allows the recharge of any illicit at range 0 to 2. So that's either one of Asajj's illicits or even false transponder codes. And then Cutthroat, you could use to recharge Jabba as well. So that way you can still give out, it doesn't have to be your own false transponder codes. So really a selfless Lando here. But worst case scenario, you just start target locking every round. Target lock you get jammed. Target lock you get jammed. On this combination of jamming mixed with Asajj Ventress's ability, because you spend the force, if they can't remove a green token, they have to take a stress. It starts just, what do I want to say? Control. Starts just controlling their dials into a way that they can't keep arc on you. And of course, Lando loves that extra stress as well. So super interesting list. I think this is the best finish of Jabba crew ever in X-Wing 2nd edition. So it really just shows the power of false transponder codes.
It does. It does. Well, you know what? At least it gave a use for Jabba, because let's be honest, where else have you ever seen Jabba the Hutt used? Nowhere.
If this has to be the way Jabba gets used, it's one of those things I put my face in my hands and go, not like this. Not like this.
Well, let's.
What I want it, because at this point, I'm almost gonna say that like you can almost put any combination of scum ships as long as they have illicit and or crew slot to put in what we believe to be the undercosted upgrades of false transponder codes, Zam crew, Protector Gleb crew, and maybe Gamut Key. You got yourself a list that will compete. Probably a YV should be one of those, realistically. But not to say that there are clear combinations in this list that work, like you said, with Asajj and the FTC. Having a Shadowcaster that has 2 illicit slots improves the value of Jabba. They're all I4. You choose their movement order, which is really helpful for where and how you want to bump each ship. So there are clear combinations that do work better than others. But baseline, scum ships with illicits and or crew are going to perform well when taking those upgrades right now.
Yeah, I think right now we're in a pick your flavor moment of scum until there's a points update, and I think it's centered around that Bosk with Zam, Greedo, and in this case he does. What is it? It's Zam Greedo +1, or is it just
Normally it's Gambit, but
Gambit.
that would require you to bring something that coordinates, which normally you throw Protector or Gleb. But in this case, Jonathan opted to double down further on the false transponder codes with Jabba instead of the Gleb.
So where I was going with it is, let's say Bosk, Zam, Greedo is the cornerstone, but then you pick your flavors of, like I did Tell and Dace, and you're like, who would fly Tell and Dace? And then there's like, who would fly Jabba the Hutt? Like, pick your flavors. And then there was that other one at the last one that dropped, what was it, Rafa or something like that, that had the Joy Rakov and
that was Sasha Wagner.
Sasha Wagner, yeah. So yeah, he had basically 4 I4s, as well. So I think if you pair any combination of Bosk, Zam, Greedo, and then you give it a flavor of other I4s that play well, whether you either coordinate, play off of the Cutthroat, or do something that supports Bosk in some way, or that detracts from the attention that people pay to Bosk and let Bosk just money around. Another combination that I was thinking of doing for this one, but I didn't, was basically Dace, Bosk, and Moral Avalo, another I4, and for the same reason, Moral Avalo will just come in, duck out, and now you have Trandoshans on either side, YB6s on either side, just creating a death box, and give. I think I had Moralo with the one that makes you reroll with the stress and Forlom. So just that's still like 4 points. But anyway, like any combination of Bosk plus additional I4s, Lieutenant Blunt is another great one to throw on there, because Bosk is always right. Actually, that's Rebel, isn't it?
Yeah, Lieutenant Blunt's a Rebel Z95. I was really.
That would be nice if you could take them. That would be nice. But no. Actually, another one is Lando in the coordinating shuttle.
Yep. We saw
Zubio.
that part of Zasha Wagner's list.
Zubio is another one. Zubio is a great coordinator.
And when you mentioned the gun runners or the space tugs, I'd be curious from Virgil, who won with the Fen Rao, Han Falcon, and the Constable Zuvio and Unkar Plutt. I think that was Bespin or Mancala. If now looking at more of the YVs, if he would have opted into a YV instead of something in that list, because that one obviously doesn't feature it, but does still feature many ships that have crew, illicit, and obviously Fen Rao that punches really hard, and the tractor beaming control. So,
all right,
Deal, what is that now? Scum has won 3 of the qualifiers.
I'm pretty sure that is correct. Let's go double check. Head to our results page. So Scum winner, and I didn't make right here, Scum winner, and yeah. So Rebels won the first one, Andrew Oler, and since then it's been all Scum. March of the Bounty Hunters. And something that we do got to talk about. I know that we're still looking at the other lists. We haven't seen in the top in this tournament. We saw less performance from Django Zam. I don't know, that's something just overall that kind of happened. I'm curious to know like why is it people just figuring out other more efficient things? Less people playing
just figuring out how to beat them.
Yeah.
how to beat them, so people getting tired of playing them because there's not many more wrinkles to them other than just playing them better, like in terms of how you build them.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just you figure out like, okay, if they got false transponder codes, this is what I'm gonna do. If they got bombs, this is what I'm gonna do. And I think people that are flying like the rebel beef and stuff are getting better at cornering them and basically saying, okay, Zam, you're gonna shoot me back twice, but guess what? I'm gonna bring you down to 2-hull this turn. I'll take that.
All right, well, let's keep it rolling. Tor Walden brought those 4 T-70 X-Wing, the Blue Squadron rookies. All of them had BB Astromechs, and I will tell you, in that top 4 game, the BB Astromech was clutch. And of course, we had Rose with Heroic and C-3PO. It is the best coordinator that the Resistance has there. C-3PO being able to give Rose that calculates. I mean, it's a pretty self-explanatory squad. It is a jousting squad, but those BB Astromechs gave Tor some flexibility to be able to spread the arcs in unexpected ways, and it made a massive difference in their game. Then we go to Sven Punga. Take it, Will.
All right, we have the return of double IG-88s. This is B and D. B does double shot cannons. If you miss, shoot another cannon. D can change the sloops into 3 straights or hard 3s. Both of them loaded out here the exact same. Elusive for rerolls on defense, advanced sensors for those actions, and honestly, I think the reason D fits in to this list archetype so good is the boost and then choose your K turn. Oh, that's just chef's kiss when you can pull that off just right. But then we bring some cannons. We got Auto Blaster and Ion Cannon, Proton Bombs, False Transponder Codes, Shield Upgrade, and the required IG 2000 title, so they could share abilities here. I'm not sure how often they would be taking locks with the false transponder codes. It'd be an aggressive maneuver for sure. So I assume that a lot of that's for defensive tech, especially combined with that elusive, doing K-turns pretty much every other round. They're doing some sort of sloop or K-turn or something like that. But yeah, when flown right, these ships have a lot of staying power.
All right, Marcel, give me Reese James, another scum and villainy squad here that features this pilot that, in my opinion, came out of nowhere. We had another Asajj.
Well, you're saying another Asajj. I'm saying another initiative for Scum Salad. So I hadn't even seen the squad, but that's not, it doesn't have Bosk, so that part's not the same. It does have Zam. A heavy-hitting Zam, but another I4 scum salad. So you've got Torani Kulda with Snapshot R5TK to help. Actually, can he even? R5TK so you can shoot a friendly ship, right?
Yeah, you can just shoot Asajj to charge up Zams if you want.
Yeah, but there's no way for you to cancel you, so you might actually put some damage on.
I mean, you take target locks and Asajj, evades or whatever, you're fine.
Okay. I mean, if you say so. But yeah, you can do that. I don't know if I would, but maybe he did. I didn't see any of this. With Contraband Cybernetics on Torani, Lando with Forlam, Gleb, BT1 title false transponder codes. BT1 is the one that lets you turn a hit to a crit. Engine upgrade and Lando's Millennium Falcon. I really like engine upgrade on Lando. And then Asajj with Sense, Zam, Contraband Cybernetics, and Shadowcaster title. Now, the Sense I am extremely curious about because
I have to imagine it's to set up.
He doesn't have a lot of repositioning. He's got Torani with red, or am I missing something? He's got Torani with red. With red barrel rolls, and he's got Lando that boosts, but
I assume it's to set up those snapshots to know where you are and then be able to barrel roll Torani, or like Lando blocking, I guess.
Big
I
base
guess,
with
it's
boost
just-
can get some good blocks for sure, but yeah, it's got to be mostly setting up the snapshot bullseyes.
Yeah, big base barrel roll gives you better blocking potential than big base boost, but yeah, it's interesting. And the reason I say that's because you get more range from a barrel on a big base side to side, where in boost it's a more limited space and it's more predictable where you're going to block. So that's why I was saying the barrels are better blockers on big bases.
All right. Then we move on to Andreas Carlson. Go ahead, Ryan.
We have a Rebel squad here utilizing Janors with Moldy Crow, Luke Skywalker with S-Foils in the X-Wing, Wedge Antilles in the RZ-1 A-Wing with no upgrades, and then Harrison Dula with Proton Rockets at 200 points even. Seemingly taking a similar page out of Matt Carey's XTC list, but opting for Luke instead of the Ahsoka. And just using that Janors to help power up that wedge shot to make it as if it is just like X-Wing wedge, but just on a better chassis for maneuverability. And then making Luke's shot more powerful as well, which he's always double modded as long as he gets an action for getting that target lock. Or if Harris just kind of circling around for a bit before the prockets, she can grab that lock for Luke too.
Then we have Tom Lawton bringing our first iteration of Zam and Django in the Separatist fire sprays. We have Zam with Treacherous, Dooku, Thermal Detonators, False Transponder Codes, and Hull Upgrade. Django with Treacherous, General Grievous Crew, which is something that we don't see too often, Proximity Mines, and False Transponder Codes. What does General Grievous Crew do, guys?
So if you have one charge and you can cancel a hit or crit as long as you take 2 damage. Is that right, Ryan? Yeah, take two or more damage and then you can cancel 1 hit or crit. Let's just read the card.
Oh yeah, Grievous Crew. Yeah, when you yeah, go ahead and read the card. If I try to do it from memory, I'm probably going to say it wrong. Let's make sure we get it right.
Specifically, while you defend after the neutralize results step, if there are 2 or more hit or crit results, you can spend that charge to cancel 1 or more crit results. Then after a friendly ship is destroyed, you get to recover 1 charge. So normally you're always going to use this to act as an additional shield. You're going to wait until one of those crits comes through on your hull, and then you can cancel that. You can get up to 2 charges if in this list Zam would die at some point, but it essentially works as an extra shield upgrade for only 3 points, so very affordable. It's also very cheap on that too. You notice that this list is taking a 5-point bid while still getting a lot of those juicy upgrades, including those proximity mines.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to keep the party going. We got Daniel S. bringing a Galactic Republic squad that I don't think any of us are surprised to see. 3 7B Jedi Knights with Shaak Ti. Shaak Ti has Marksmanship, Auto Blaster, R7A7, setting up that automatic damage. I think this is pretty much a Republic staple now, at least for the time being. The way the points work out, you got a nice 198 points. You're working at an initiative that functions in the current meta. They punch hard enough. They're defensive. You use that evade action liberally. And a lot of times with the help of Shaak Ti, having a couple extra tokens, you can take some risks out there. So there is Daniel's list. Then we have Bartosz bringing in what I would consider a pretty brave list. What do you think there, Marcel?
So Bartosz bringing in a 5 Rebel A-Wing list. It's Hera, naked, or without any upgrades. Ahsoka with Sense. That's an interesting one. Okay, Ahsoka with Sense, I think because of Marvel. Wedge, again, Wedge naked. Jake naked. and then Arvel with just Intimidation. So really, the only two upgrades that he has is Sense on Ahsoka and Intimidation on Arvel. No rerolls outside of what's naturally in the Hera, or not naturally coming from Hera. If Hera's doing some target locking, or if Ahsoka's doing some coordinating, and then you have a target lock. But yeah, it's, I mean, pretty. No, I guess Jake also is coordinated, so you have 3 different ways of getting additional mods. But yeah, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. No bid on this, but it's fine because you've got Ahsoka and some people moving early. Yeah, I mean, I mean, honestly, I don't love the list, but I don't have to love it because he flew it and he made it this far. So, you know, it's good.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting in Bartosh's game. We did get him on stream versus the IGs. The advanced sensors gave him some trouble in that game, as well as, you know, not being able to catch a break. But he did have a tool there. Remember, Ahsoka can essentially coordinate at an initiative 5. So after the IGs would move around, he had the option to then coordinate to Arvel to get that boost and try to get Intimidation on. And there was one turn where Arvel blocked both of them off of some shenanigans. So when those games come out, make sure you guys take a look at those, because it was quite entertaining. Then we move on to a previous Worlds runner-up, Yalte de Boer. Take it, Ryan.
And our only showing of Empire in the cut. This is Soontir Fel with Predator, Countess Ryad with Lone Wolf, and an Omicron group pilot with Emperor Palpatine. This feels like he's flying a list from first edition when he placed in the top in the finals against Simeon. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the last time we've seen Countess Ryad in a long time. It's still a defender, still backed up by Palpatine. Has a really flexible K-turns. His I4, so with the flexibility of those K-turns, has potentially a lot of opportunities with that 6-point bid to move after and then decide to flex that K-turn depth, how far or close it is. And then Soontir just being Soontir. Cheap version being just Predator, so only getting the 3 hull, no additional modifications to gain shield or another hull upgrade. But pretty sure that Palpatine doing a lot of work, and potentially even that the coordinating, obviously, from the Omicron group pilot to adjust some of the vectors that Countess Ryad is performing those K-turns, or assuming blocks and then getting a token at least before getting blocked and have some Lone Wolf.
Yes, there is. We got a more traditional death ray here with Corcella to clear multiple stress, Rose to get free locks, Finn to add additional blanks, false transponder codes, which really combos well with that Rose Tico, shield upgrade, and Ray's Millennium Falcon title, given the option to sloop even while stressed. Even boost while stressed then too. Excellent combination with that Corcella. But then Vinny, an I2 Star Fortress at 97 points, has Trajectory Simulator to be launching concussion bombs, and I can only imagine that's thermal detonators. Got so many upgrades they went off the screen. Then also has Pattern Analyzer for doing red moves and still taking double focuses through that Perceptive Co-Pilot. The combination of Veteran Turret Gunner to be able to fire the 3 dice out the front. Then, yeah, definitely thermal upgrades, thermal detonators. Veteran Turret Gunner allows you to fire the 3 dice out the front, and then fire a turret shot as well. But with that Page Tico, every time you shoot a primary weapon, you can either rotate your turret or drop a bomb. So you can do some fun things like basically if your only target's in front of you, you can, while your arcs are to the side, you can shoot the front arc, rotate your turret to the front, shoot that, and then because it is a primary weapon, you can rotate it back to the sides. So you can get a lot of value out of that Page Tico and Veteran Turret Gunner. I am very surprised to see Vinny here, but with our supposed swarm meta, launching concussion bombs into formations just seems so dirty.
It sure does. And hey, did well enough to get into that top 16. Now, Ty did get eliminated in the round of 16, but ended 9 in Swiss overall. Went 5-2. And then we had Daniel Lim, Isofane himself, getting into the top 16. He did lose his top 16 game, but brought in the Rebel Alliance. We had Han Solo with Ezra Crew, Kanan Jarrus Gunner, and R2-D2 Crew.
It is Ezra Gunner.
Oh, I had it right as well. They're both Gunners?
No, Kanan's a crew member.
There you go. So I had that mixed up. So Ezra Gunner, Kanan Crew, and R2-D2 Crew, and then also Leia Organa in the YT 1300 with Maul. He did want me to mention, because he knew we were going to go through this, that the reason for him bringing Leia in his list was because his daughter's middle name is Leia. So he had to represent in his list. He had to. And hey, did well enough. He went 5-0, and then according to the tape being like, he's like, hey, he didn't do so hot in that 6th round, but I'm pretty sure he tanked it because he had to go take care of the little, he just had a newborn, so I'm not surprised. All right, so maybe could have gone 6-0. We'll never know. But
2 Falcons, both with 2 Force, I5, I6. That's a lot of passive mods. A lot of the ability to lock or boost when needed.
So good stuff.
I'm just sad that there's no Chewbacca in there, so that there's no way to fit a Chewbacca crew, because that would have been Han, Leia, and Chewbacca would have been just great.
Yeah, you're just missing 1 point because he's only 3 and you got 2 points left over.
Love it. All right, let's keep it going. Dan Schwiereb. I forgot who's next. Is it Marcel?
I'll go.
Oh, Marcel.
Yeah. So this is Dan. I believe Dan is from the. Is he from the French team? But Dan was flying Sunfac with Predator and Ensnare. Haven't seen that one in a while. Chertek with Crackshot and Ensnare. Also have not seen that in a while. Well, I've seen Chertek, not Ensnare.
Oh.
And then we've got.
Crap.
Did we lose Dion? Anyway, we've got General Grievous, and yeah, we did. Lose,
I think.
Did we lose Dion altogether, or did we just lose?
I don't know. The stream shows him still there and us still there.
Yeah. Let me message him.
Might be typing something to us. Looks like he's typing. See if we get something. Oh, just keep rolling.
Oh, just keep going.
Just keep going. So yeah, Daniel Schwiereb's list.
It's not on the screen anymore, so I can't even see it. But so he had the Sunfac with Ensnare, Chertek with Ensnare, and then there you go, Dion, bringing it back out. And then he had Grievous with, I assume, all the same goodies that he always has, which is Impervium Plating, Soulless One, and Crackshot. Dion, you want to probably move the screen a little bit to the right as well so we can see it. Good list. Scary list.
It's not one we've seen in a while, and I wonder.
186. That is quite the bid too.
That list could always bid a lot. We haven't really seen this since the last Worlds in person. And I think Dan might be getting ahead of the curve on the ship counts on its way down. And the farther down it goes, the more Ensnare is going to hurt.
Yeah, the only problem with Ensnare is medium and big bases are still kind of a thing. Either of these two ships still had nothing to do with Bosk.
Yeah, good luck ensnaring him.
Somebody calls ensnare. Boss goes cute. All right. Then we have Yost Vijin. Take it, Ryan.
We have, I believe, we got our first appearance of Dash again in this top cut. We have Dash with Trick Shot, Bistan, Perceptive Copilot, Stealth Device, and False Transponder codes. Then we have Hera with Prockets and the Vectored Cannons, and Jake with the Vectored Cannons. So seeing a usage of Vector Cannons outside of what I believe had been the most common archetype, which was 4 A-Wings and 3 to 4 A-Wings and like an X-Wing like Garvin or Luke. I think James Ritter had used that in the past a couple times and placed well. But this allows those A-Wings to provide just a little bit of extra threat while still kind of tailing or helping out Dash along the way. Obviously, Jake helping to pass a focus to Dash. And then when Hera is available to either support with the evade to help keep that stealth device up as long as possible. But when Hera's ready to dive in, she's got that one-time use prockets. It can always be dangerous that Jake could help her out, get a focus, and she can do a lock.
All right, we got a couple more lists to go. We got 3 more. We got Nicholas God. Take it, Will.
All right, Nicholas God, bringing a scum list here. A classic archetype for him. That's Tirani Kolda with cluster missiles, R5-2K, and munitions failsafes to shoot his own ships. And that ship he's going to be mostly shooting is Paylob in the Hawk. Has Zam Whistle Cruise, so you can charge up Zam. Also with those shots. And then Moldy Crow to hold on to some focus tokens, give him that 3 dice front arc there. The staple of Nicholas's list is Captain Justero to combine with Tirani. So those cluster missiles, you trigger the token stripping bullseye mechanic that Tirani has, be able to trigger it twice. Then if, assuming that they don't have a bunch of extra tokens, Captain Justero can get that bonus attack. And then filling in the list is the Black Sun Enforcer. That is the Star Viper. With the bendy barrel rolls, it can act as a pseudo ace, but with the 3 attack dice, it can come in and joust in the block if need be as well. Nicholas continuing the success with what has become his standard list now.
Then we move on to Connor Holmes, the only First Order representation we had. Marcel?
So he's got a pretty straightforward list. Major Vonreg with Daredevil, Kylo with Extreme Maneuvers, and then Recoil with Predator. So he's got a 4, a 5, and a 6 initiative with 4 bid. Silencers are good. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do. Silencers are good. I think Vonreg has a lot of choices, especially at initiative 6 and Daredevil, being able to basically double action every turn, and 2 dice double modded turns out is better than just regular, more consistent than 3 dice. If you want to double mod and still keep your defense up. And Kylo, who'd have thought Kylo was in the only First Order list that made the cut. I'm shocked.
I do want to know
the
here,
sarcasm.
Ryan, I'm sure you've been checking this out, but this is the only hyperspace list in the cut.
Yep.
You can see it right there.
It is presented by the First Order. And like Marcel said, one of the strongest pieces with Kylo Ren, only stronger with Extreme Maneuvers.
All right. right, and then we get to our last competitor in the top 16. We have Noah Castellanos. Ryan?
Running the Galactic Republic, the 7B Jedi Knights. We have 3 of them, and then Shakti with the Patience, Marksmanship, Auto Blasters, and R7A7. I believe that's the exact same other Republic list we saw earlier. It's a solid archetype. Really wonder how often that Auto Blast... I mean, we know the combination's good. I'm just curious, without a bid, how at I4 it's doing against the rest of some of the top-end stuff. Like, is it still as good as in, taking that investment potentially somewhere else where that crit effect could more likely occur, or is it still enough of a threat, even at I4, that might be moving before other I4s?
All right, and now we have an honorable mention here. Charles Holcomb actually went 6-0 in the event and could not play in day 2, so had to drop out. Let's take a look at this list because it tells you that it's something. We got a Rebel list, Jake Farrell and Harrison Dula, both with rockets, proton rockets, and 2 Rogue Squadron Escort E-Wings with fire control system and R3 astromech. If you're not familiar with the combo going on there, the E-Wings ship ability allows you to target lock outside range 3 and farther away. Okay, so you can get some massive areas, and right in the beginning of the game, you basically get to be your own Colonel Jendon. You get to set up your target locks before you go in for those E-Wings. And with the R3 astromech, you're able to scoop up 2 target locks. So I would tell you the value on those starts going up as the ship count goes down, which we've been talking about for a while. And of course, with that fire control system and having the target lock out there, you are setting up a mod that you have on at least 2 of the ships. And you got 2 of those. So a solid list. We didn't get to see them play on stream, but watch out. The E-Wings looks like they have some, they got some legs. They got some legs, and that's powerful. You got 2 5-dice attacks in there, plus modifications, and of course Hera doing her thing. So very cool list. Charles Holcomb.
I think it'd be pretty funny to see if Charles faced the eventual winner, because with 2 locks for each E-Wing, you might be able to get them to run out of false transponder code charges.
You're right. You're right. It turns out E-Wings are the hard counter.
Does the scum list have enough time to get to them before they run out of false transponder code charges with the Jabba charges?
I like that. I like that a lot. Well, that is our top 16 for the Dagobah Galactic Championship qualifier. I want to remind you guys that the next qualifier is happening July. It's not July. We're in July right now. August 7th, and it is happening during the Denver, Colorado time zone. So we're back in the United States. We're doing it in Mountain Time, and if you need more details, head over to goldsquadronpodcast.com. And a reminder, we're going to be heading here in the next couple months. When we get to November 6th, it is the Galactic Championship finale. We're calling it the Battle for Alderaan. So just remember, for GSP events, the last event is always called the Galactic Championship, okay? And the planet changes. So last year was Coruscant. This year it is not Coruscant. So a couple people accidentally called the last one Coruscant. I could understand the confusion because of previous things, the way FFG ran it. Not here. The last one is the Battle for Alderaan. You can call it Alderaan. Don't call it Coruscant. Alderaan. All right? So before we head out today, guys, any overarching thoughts, any pieces that you see that you kind of strings you want to pull at looking at that top 16, any trends you're noticing? Feel free to throw those out now.
I think we've seen the rise of control being more and more important in X-Wing. The Assange and 000 combinations where you can hand out stress, the token stripping of and jamming of false transponder codes. I think that more and more debuffs and those control aspects are beginning to outweigh those kind of token stacking buffs that we've seen from like the rebels, and then things out of like well, take for example the Imperial list, where it's just like focus, evade, palp on both your ships, right? So yeah, that would be my takeaway.
Brian?
I mean, I alluded to it earlier. I got numbers that support it, but I think we're probably a little late on getting to those. We can maybe get to them at another time as we go through our Galaxy events more and more and see if this trend is true. But definitely seems like ship counts going maybe not completely down. I think our average still will lie somewhere around high 3.75 to 4. But the quantity of 6+ ship lists is drastically lower. And it wasn't even that high before, but it was just more prevalent than people were used to, which is what I think why they dubbed it some type of a swarm meta. And obviously one of the large pieces was the 6 Barons with Discipline and Prockets and Tracers. So because that was a strong piece, people are now working around it with, like Will said, all those debuffing things that if you need a focus to shoot the Prockets and that focus is gone, then there's no Procket shots. So bring all the FTCs or token getting rid of stuff you can. That's a good way to mitigate it. And now even, what now the question is, what trends do we see as the ship? More of the higher meta forces being a lower ship count go down. Do other things creep its way back in, like we saw with the Sunfac Chairtech Grievous, for example?
Marcel?
A trend that I'm seeing, and that is even that last list with the knaves or with the rogues is extended being starting to clunch up at I4. The I4s, again, with all the scum stuff that happens at I4, not only the boss thing, because we saw that there was other ones that were not boss, including the Nicholas Scott with not Justera, but with Tarani. Like the I4 is a hotspot, including those rogue ones and Jake. So I think there's an opportunity, either if you're going to go I4 bid, which that one list with the Ensnares, Chertek, and Grievous had a 186 bid at I4, and I was thinking like, well, that's a big bid for I4, maybe not so much, or just try to find the I5 ones that'll let you do what you want to do. And I think we might also just I wonder if it's time to start bringing out some of these old I5s that might have been good, but might have needed that right time to be good. I'm talking about Corn Horn. I'm talking because Corn Horn would be amazing if he can get an evade from Hera. Like, oh, I've got to focus. I'm not a defender. Oh wait, I got Hera. Now I'm a defender. Now I'm a double tapping defender that I can put a regen droid on. So Corn Horn might be an option. Old Turok. I think Old Turok has some legs. Has places where you can fit in well. So yeah, I think right now it's because the meta is shifting the way like Ryan said, it's shifting. I think there's an opportunity for things that traditionally have not been very good in the past to start creeping in and surprising people.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, and it's interesting that we've kind of settled in this middle initiative, right? It's something that in the history of X-Wing hasn't been super common, where so many lists in the center of of the initiative is really what is doing the best. So we'll continue to monitor the meta situation as things continue to progress. Make sure to tune in this weekend for the Lone Star Open stream. Remember, you're going to be seeing Will take care of that stream. He'll have James on the horn, and also I believe one of our Grand Admiral patrons, Chase, is actually going to be hanging out in Texas. He's going to be available to actually help Will with some stuff, so that should be fun. He's done some community commentary for us there, and so Will doesn't have to be all alone in person. You know, he needs a little buddy. So
I might need all the help I can get to home.
There you go. I mean, I would tell you even just getting somebody there to help with like laying down the wires and all that, that is huge. It's massive. It goes about double the speed when you got two people. All right. Who wouldn't have known? So make sure you guys tune in, and you will probably see me on Sunday through the power of the internet and being able to do that. We're trying a couple things that are new. Hopefully things work. And I will tell you, one of the wild cards here is the equipment hasn't been out of this studio since the pandemic started. So this week I'm going to be gathering all the items, give them to Will, and let's hope that everything works, because that is a reality. There's a lot of moving parts. I'll double check everything I can, but the reality is with graduate school right now, every moment is precious. So. And that is a perfect opportunity for us to say thank you so much for watching today's episode. Be smart, be safe. And the next time I come to you, I will be at the rank of master. Gold Squadron out.